and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's Let's Talk About. For today, we are having the very last Let's Talk About for the year 2021, and we are joined this evening by three very distinguished ladies to join us to discuss Christmas time and COVID. Do it all, do it well. As we bring the year to an end and we are getting ready to celebrate Christmas, of course, there are many challenges with the COVID season and the new variant that is making way in Ghana, and not just Ghana, but the world in general. And so we felt there's a need for us to have a conversation as we prepare to celebrate Christmas, to spend time with family, to spend time with friends, to thank God for the year as it ends, to relax, to enjoy ourselves, to distress, to crown the year off, and also to thank God for all that He has done for us as Let's Talk About also brings the curtain down on the year. But of course, we also have to be very cautious with COVID and all that is happening around us. So there's a need for us to know about this new variant, to understand more about it, to understand what it means, what the new symptoms are, and also because Harmattan is with us. And it's also bringing with us its own challenges with us and with it. And we felt there was a need for us to begin to, vis-a-vis Harmattan, COVID, some of us are not too sure what the new variant poses to us. There's a call for us to vaccinate ourselves a bit more. People think it's all Harmattan and it's not COVID. People say it's all COVID, it's not Harmattan. And so it's your knees that are hurting. Is it a Harmattan or it's COVID? The cough that you are feeling, is it a Harmattan or it's COVID? Your joints that are aching. So the morning fever, the feverishness that you are feeling, is it the Harmattan and the dust, or is the new COVID variant that you are feeling? You are tired of wearing the mask. We all are. We are tired of washing our hands so many times. You are tired of applying the Vaccinated and Kuto too many times. There are so many things happening. But of course, we also want to chew our chicken and our turkey, enjoy our MPC and our watching with our friends, go and enjoy the small chilling here and there. So basically today we want to have a conversation with ourselves, with our experts in the room, and see how we can ensure that whilst we enjoy, whilst we are chilling, whilst we are having fun, we don't also do the mistakes and repeat the mistakes we did last year during the Christmas season and have a new wave on our hands as we did a few years ago, last year. So basically we have with us this evening Dr. Gogo Daku, a medical practitioner. We have with us Mrs. Martha Ofori, a clinical psychologist, and Mrs. Rosemont Jima, a champion, someone who went through COVID in September this year, to have a conversation, to share with us, to explain things to us, and let us see how best we ensure that by 2022, we are all alive, we are all safe, and we see how we move forward with the new variants amongst us. So we will go and watch a very brief video. After the video, we'll come back into the studio and have a conversation. So Dr. Gogo Daku, please, you are welcome to the studio. Mrs. Ofori, you are also very much welcome to the studio. Auntie Rosemont, you are also very much welcome to the studio. We thank you all very much for making time to join us. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are also live on Sunny FM. For all those who are listening to us, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us throughout the year and for listening to us throughout the year. We are most grateful to everyone who has made time throughout the year to listen to us. For those of you who have asked you to listen to us throughout the day, if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to put them out on either our YouTube page, our Facebook page, or on our WhatsApp page, and we'll definitely read it out throughout the course of at the end of the evening for our experts to try and answer them. So please feel free to drop in any comments, any questions for us, either on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll definitely drop them out for our experts to answer them if you have any question for them throughout the course of the event, the conversation. So whilst we wait for a few seconds, we would, Dr. Daku, we would ask Dr. Daku in a few seconds. There is a new variant out, and some of us are having challenges pronouncing the word. So I'll ask you to please, what is this new variant? And if you can just briefly mention it for us to understand, for those of us from the other side of the country who are having challenges pronouncing this new word publicly, like myself. If you can just let us know this new variant, at least the few variants that have come out of COVID over the year. Yes, please.
Okay, so thank you very much. And the new kid on the block,
Yes.
the new variant is Omicron.
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 Cron.
Yes.
Okay.
So the variants are named after the alphabet.
Okay.
But this, so you all remember the last variant before this one is the Delta.
Delta, yes.
Yes, and we were all so worried about the Delta. We're told of how fast the Delta spreads. And now with the Omicron, it is even more infectious than the Delta variant.
Okay.
And so we are all concerned, especially with the experience we had last year and what we experienced beginning of this year.
Okay.
Even with the milder variants, we are concerned that as we get into the festive season with a variant that is very, very infectious, we need to be very cautious. Yes. And the symptoms, as you were talking about, is it Hamatan? Is it, I would want to add malaria, because we say common things are common. And for us on this part of the world, we know malaria is endemic.
Yeah.
Yes. From the beginning, we thought the symptoms were just respiratory. And so it was cough or sneezing, your cold symptoms, but now it's gone beyond that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think I will come in more, I'll come in with more information
Okay.
after we watch
All right.
the video.
All right, so let's pause and watch a video, and then we'll come back and have a conversation about the new kid on the block, as we called, the big O. So let's watch the video.
77 countries have now reported cases of Omicron, and the reality is that Omicron is probably in most countries, even if it hasn't been detected yet. Omicron is spreading at a rate we have not seen with any previous variant. We're concerned that people are dismissing Omicron as mild. Surely, we have learned by now that we underestimate this virus at our peril. Even if Omicron does cause less severe disease, the sheer number of cases could once again overwhelm unprepared health systems. I need to be very clear. Vaccines alone will not get any country out of this crisis. Countries can and must prevent the spread of Omicron with measures that work today. It's not vaccines instead of masks. It's not vaccines instead of distancing. It's not vaccines instead of ventilation or hand hygiene. Do it all. Do it consistently. Do it well.
Scrambling. And now we've heard about what the Secretary General said about Omicron. What are the differences? What are the symptoms of Omicron? How do we, and he's saying we need to do it all. So what is it that we need to look out for with Omicron? How is it different from Delta? And what makes this more, as I said, the risk, what are the risk factors when it comes with Omicron?
Okay, so I would want to take it from the angle. As I said earlier, Omicron is more infectious.
Okay.
So when something is more infectious, you know that you need to be extra careful. What could have passed without infecting someone else with the Delta and the preceding variant would not pass with Omicron. So we need to be more cautious. And we heard from the Director General of the WHO, and this was on the 14th of December. And he's telling us about how it's all over the world. Ghana has recorded Omicron cases, and most of the cases that are sequenced now are the Omicron variants. And so I would want at this point, I think we've all heard about COVID, we all know about COVID, talking about the symptoms. When it comes to the newer variants, the Delta, the Omicron, it's not just your respiratory symptoms. You also have the gastric symptoms. Some would have vomiting, some will have diarrhea, the chills, which comes along with malaria, the cough and cold, which our Harmattan season would normally bring. And then we have the feeling of general tiredness. Chasawabre. What means when you swabre. Yes, your joint, you have your joint pains as well. So these are things we need to look out for. And I would want us to look at a chart. I want us to look at a chart where the very last line you see is 15th December. You see that the previous waves, there's a staggering rise, and then we get to a peak. But when we look at the 15th, there's such a sharp rise there. And that should tell us that the wave we are already heading into is not to be joked with. And so we need to be careful. We haven't even gone full blown into the festive season. We are just warming up. And so we need to be very, very careful and be on our guard. I know it's been 2 years. A lot of us are tired. But let us keep it on a bit more. Otherwise, we are going to have a fourth wave, which is going to be worse than all the waves we've had before. I would quickly want to take us through the protocols at this point. We all know that the virus moves when we move. And so this means that when we don't move, the virus stays where it is. And so I would want to remind us all that unless it is very necessary, please stay at home. If for an important reason you need to step out, make sure you are in your mask. And your mask must be properly worn. You lock it onto your nose bridge. So I've locked it in. And when you lock it in, it makes wearing it. Or if it's under your nose and it's not covering your nostril, you are not properly wearing it. Crowded. And so ask yourself, if you go somewhere and you find that the place is poorly ventilated and there's crowding, please step out. You need to take the responsibility of protecting yourself. I would also want to say here, you find most people having their mask in their pocket or their bag, and then when they get to church or to a place of gathering, that's when they put it on. Please, the responsibility is right from your doorstep. So put your mask on before you step out. In every gathering, let's make sure we keep the physical distancing. And please note, it's physical, not social. We need the social togetherness. We are social beings, but it's physical distance that we need to put between ourselves when we meet. And so let us make sure we keep the physical distancing of at least 1 meter. And that is when we are masked. And so masked plus physical distancing of at least 1 meter. And then our hand hygiene. We should continue to wash our hands with soap under running water for at least 20 seconds. And we must do it right. So it's not just going this way and you finished. No, 20 seconds is quite a long time. And you have to go through all the spaces. You go through the back of your hand, you come to the other one, you go in between, You don't forget your fingertips this way, and then you come to your thumb, you come to the other one, and then you now do your wrist. And without soap or running water, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, not less than 70% alcohol. And you do the same thing. So for some of us, we know we need to do this process or routine for hand washing, but we don't do same for the alcohol hand sanitizer. We need to do same. The only difference is for the hand washing, you will wash your fingertips at the end, but for the alcohol, when you've taken about 10 mils of alcohol, so that drop of alcohol is not enough. When you've taken 10 mils, you dip first, you pour, you dip the other one before you start the process. So without your soap and running water, you use your alcohol-based hand sanitizer. And also remember not to touch men. Acronym: your mouth, your eyes, your nose, unless your hand has been washed or sanitized well. So you avoid touching your mouth, your eyes, and your nose. That's where the virus gets in and gives us problems.
Okay.
And so I've gone on a lecture mode. Yes. Let me finish with 2 points, and then I'll hand over as I'm in a lecture mood. Yes. So when we have done all this, let's remember to eat well. And eating well, we shouldn't forget our vegetables and our fruits. This will boost our immunity, and we shouldn't forget our exercises. And so these are very important. And should I finish my lecture?
At this point, I think anybody who has forgotten any of the protocols is currently going through, anybody in their car who has left their sanitizer at home or is not wearing their mask, I'm sure has pulled their face mask properly on, or has re-sanitized their hands in their vehicle, or is attempting to look for their hand sanitizer to re-sanitize their hands
and take the right quantity.
Somebody is saying that please ensure that you get at least 8 hours of sleep to revitalize yourselves as well, and make sure your body is getting enough rest to boost up your immune systems also. So thank you very much, Dr. Gogodakun, in this sense. But also, I wanted us to, I know we are almost about out of time in this first segment. So I'm not too sure whether I have just enough time to go to the next speaker before we go on our next on our break. But I wanted us to go to our next speaker just briefly before we go on our next break. And the next person is Mrs. Jima Mechampon, who has, I'm sure, tried and has and followed the protocols, because I know her very well. She's an educationist. She ensures students follow the protocols. And I'm sure she followed the protocols very well. And somehow, in September, found herself testing positive for COVID. So, Rosemond, I don't know if you can begin, and then we'll go on break and you come back and continue your story. But maybe you can share how you felt when you got the news that you tested positive, and before we go on break.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, it was really a shock to me. Yeah, because when I had COVID came, I wasn't in this country. I was in the States, and I was very close to New York. I was in Connecticut. And so, you know, Connecticut and New York and New Jersey. It's like Medina and Adenta. People live here and they work there. So the COVID cases in both states were just shooting up.
Yeah.
And I was just present. And by God's grace, I was able to keep myself safe from not getting COVID. And I managed to get into the country. Yeah. So when I got home, I made sure I ensured, because I saw how people were dying left and right in New York. You know, you're on a flat, and by the time you come, they've pasted a lot of pictures, you know, on walls, people who are no more. And so people became so scared. When they get there, nobody will want to watch the pictures down there. And so you see people going. So it wasn't something that we could play with. So when I came, I ensured every safety protocol. When you come to my house, there's a vertical bucket there. People will wash their hands. I have alcohol, sanitizers, and all that. And at school, I don't remove my mask until I get home, and including all my kids. One thing that I want to talk about is about the vaccination. I never got vaccinated because I'm one of the people who are against vaccines. From my background, I'm an advocate because I have a child with special needs. And it is believed that, from my readings, that some of the kids get autism because of vaccines, because there are heavy metals in the vaccines, and some of them, the way they are oriented, their system cannot take the heavy metals, and then they get affected. So looking at this background, it will be very difficult as a mother to go and take vaccine. So I never took it in the US, and when I came here, I decided not to take it. No, my husband took it, my mom, no, my sisters, and my sister and my brothers, and everybody was advised, and I said, no way, you don't know what you are talking about. From what I have read, I'm not taking any vaccine because of the components in the vaccine. And then also looking at conspiracy theories and religious backgrounds and our beliefs as Christians, you know, it's like, yeah, oh, God will take good care of us, so we are okay, and the Holy Spirit will kill all the viruses. So no, all these were things that were preventing people from taking the vaccines.
But I'm going to pause you on the Nyame and go for a musical break. And when we come back, we'll see if Nyame, what God did for us in September in your life. So we'll break right now for a musical break, interlude, and we'll continue after this. Thank you very much for watching.
The stars so brightly shining, 'tis the night of our Jesus born. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appears and the soul felt His a throne of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious. Oh, hear the angels' voices all night, when Christ was born.
Initially, or I'm not sure whether she's vaccinated now, but why she initially was acting and why she refused to take the vaccination. So respond. I'll have you
Anybody to go through, and it is just right to go in for the vaccines, because I nearly went. I nearly went, and what I will say is, we had a vaccine. So everybody we were looking at how I got the vaccine. Sorry, I got I got COVID. That was where we were looking at, because after all the protocols, I realized a relative came to visit us, and when he came, he got sick in the house, and then the girls in my house took care of the girl, of the guy. And then he left. And after some few days, about 10 days, the girl started showing symptoms, but my mind wasn't there. So they started with coughs, and they were sneezing, and they were having temperatures high, temperatures and all that. But my mind was still not there until one of them said, she doesn't have a sense of taste and smell. And I said, Jesus. So we went to check, and it was COVID.
Wow.
So we realized that almost all of us in the house, that was what we were thinking, that all of us had gotten the COVID. So immediately we just stayed in the house. Nobody went out, and we were eating from our freezers. Yeah, because we wouldn't want to infect anybody with it. So I made everybody stay at home. And it was a terrible experience. Yeah. My sister will come visit us with rubber bags around the hand and the neck. I should have brought the picture for people to see. People will bring us food, and they will be by the gate. Yeah. And then when they leave the food, then somebody goes to pick the food. The young people in the house were able to get over it quickly. But I had a very terrible experience. It really knocked me down, and I nearly died. It took the grace of God. So that's why I'm here to share. I know a lot of people have had COVID. Yeah. In our church, when you look at the groups, a lot of people, some are quiet about it. They are not sharing. I'm an advocate, so I decided to come here to share my experience. I wouldn't know who it will affect. Yeah. So that we all set up during this festive occasion. Yeah. We all set up and be more careful with ourselves, because it is real. It is real. COVID is real. I had it. I had high rise in my throat. My nose were blocked. So this is, if you are not somebody who reads, I read about a medical doctor's incidents in the States, and he told me that when you get, that taught me that when you get COVID, he was able to go through it at New York, because he was doing a lot of breathe in deep, he was breathing in and out deeply. And that helped. So at that time, that was what I was doing. And I was able to, because you can't breathe, and the mucus has choked your throat. And I went through feeling of tiredness, helplessness. I have my autistic boy sit by me, and then tears at him, and I was going. So my people, it is real. COVID is real. When you are going out, just follow the safety protocols. And then one thing I want to talk about, the symptoms. When you breathe, not at all, you feel the pain. Yeah, in your lungs. So you can't breathe well. And when you are breathing, you feel it. So you have short breath, because you wouldn't want to feel. It's a sign so that people will sit and and be more careful, with themselves. And then you don't have sense of taste. You can't feel salt, sugar, pepper. You can't smell anything around you. So that will not let you also eat well. And so you just go down, deteriorate, the more. Yeah, so please, it is very real.
Okay.
I'm here myself, and I'm sharing my experience.
All right. Thank you so much, Rosamond. I think if you have never experienced it, and you've only heard or you've seen on TV people lying in the hospital beds with the oxygen tanks on them, at least you've now heard or seen somebody, you've heard what the symptoms feel like, you now heard it from somebody's own mouth, what it feels like as they are lying in their beds, struggling to take in the breath, and why the struggles are coming from the bed. It's because of what the lungs are going through. If you have any questions or any comments, our YouTube channels and our favorites 050-157-9996. We can give the questions to our experts here for them to answer them for you. Rosamond, once again, we thank you.
And they go to stay at home. Stay at home. As Christians, as religious people, we wouldn't want to do evil to other people. So when you get it, stay at home and make sure you protect others. And then secondly, people also get out of COVID and they are stigmatized. People stigmatize them. So they wouldn't want anybody to know that they have COVID. COVID after 10 days, I hear, the doctors are here. I'm not an expert. But I know that after 10 days, the virus is, and that was exactly what I did. The 10th day, the 11th day, I went to do my test again, and I tested negative. Yeah, so please, when they are out of COVID, they are out of COVID, and accept them at your work, your workplaces and wherever. Don't let them sit at home and become more stressed.
Okay, thank you so much. So, people, Bridget Dr. Gogo Daku has shared with us all that there can be about COVID. Auntie Rosamond has also told us her story and everything that has happened to her and what God has, by the grace of God, she has been able to go through it. The stories are not as gloomy as it can be. And I know with Christmas coming, we are not here to scare you. So, Martha, how do we cope? We are all tired of wearing this on our faces. And it can get, yes, I know, Bridget said it, we can all speak through it. We can pinch the mask, we can breathe through them, we can wear it the whole day. We will live, we will survive. It's not that inability to survive, it's the fact that you are just tired of not seeing your face. You take a picture, you say smile, you want to see your smile in the picture. You want to be able to see people and hug people. How do we motivate ourselves? How do we not make ourselves feel down? Because at times you get depressing. Every time you want to hold somebody, you say, oh, you can't hold the person. You want to hug someone, you can't do this. You want to just be able to live your life. How do we live our lives in times like this and still be able to feel as if you are yourself?
Vaccination, she on the back. We've lived with this for about 2 years. We've dedicated all our time, our efforts, our resources. For the past 2 years, we've bought masks, sanitizers, wipes, and all of that. So we've been very committed to the process. So I think we've all done very well. We should be happy with that. In addition to that, I think that for the past 2 years, we've all lived with it. So we have all in one way or another found a way to go around it and to cope and to move on with life, right? She mentioned some of them. Just accepting that this virus is now here with us. Just the acceptance alone helps you to move forward with it. And so it's like, this virus is now here. I've accepted that I'm going to live with it. I've accepted that I'm going to follow all these COVID protocols. So in addition to all of this, we are saying that let's look at our physical body. Let's take care of ourselves better. She said that we should eat well. Try and have your meals on time. Eat good food to strengthen you and to build your metabolism. And we're also talking about sleeping well on time, getting enough rest, just so that your body can... we should also make up our mind, and also in coping, that we are going to continue to abide by these protocols as a way of coping. This is like a group early along so that we get the end goal. So it's consistency, and I like the topic for today, which says that we should do it all We can all come out. We keep depending on our friends, on our families. We keep checking up on each other. We're in a very good mood. I don't think we are here to scare anyone, but a story is very important. We pick up points from that and then we move on with it.
We should check on each other. We should be each other's keepers. We should rely on God. And we are also live on Sunny FM 88.7. We should be each other's keepers.
Sure.
We should rely on each other. And that is why Christmas is so very important. We are each other's keepers. We are each other's friends. We should get together. They are adhering to protocol. They are washing their hands. We are going for
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain for the latest night that was so deep. Noel, 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 and so beyond them far unto the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, Noel, born is the King of Israel. Noel, Born is the King of Israel.
Welcome back to our conversation on Christmas times and COVID. Do it well and do it all. And welcome back to, and thank you very much to our panelists for the conversation, the interesting conversation so far. I want to come back to Dr. Gogodako. Now we're in Hamatan, and we can't past few days. There is people are putting many things in their noses. You said we should do the men. Sorry, you said we shouldn't do men. No. Don't touch men. We should touch women. Don't touch men. Don't touch our noses are dry. Our mouths are dry. We are putting akubam and things all over our places to keep it from getting, the history. And here we are. You say you shouldn't touch men. So how do we reconcile the problem?
All right. So thank you very much once again. I think that we need to be extra careful this Hamatan for two reasons. One, the dryness alone is causing our mucosas to dry. So they are yes. So they are already dry. And so once the virus gets in and cracks, so easily enters. And I want us also not to make the assumption.
1 minute, please. Let me just say, I would want to say thank you, Sunny FM, right now. They need to make way for other programs.
Okay.
So we want to thank all their listeners who have joined us so far for it. If you want to continue, you can please join us on our social media handles, which is on YouTube and Facebook, Trinity United Church, Legon, for you to listen to the rest of the conversation. Sunny FM listeners, thank you so much for joining us. You can join us on our social media handles, Trinity United Church. Dr. Gogo, please continue.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.
So, as I was saying, let us not make the assumption that the symptoms we have is Hamatan or it's malaria. As we say, common things are common. Please, let us take our conditions to the hospital and let a medical person decide or make a diagnosis. And then based on that, we know how to manage ourselves. Having said that, I would want to go back to talk about vaccination. Our sister talked about vaccination. Currently in Ghana, only 7% of the population is fully vaccinated.
You mean eligible people for vaccination? Those eligible for vaccination?
For vaccination,
Okay.
yes. So only 7% of the eligible are vaccinated, fully vaccinated. And so if you are 15 years and older, please make sure you get vaccinated. We also hear people, oh, I'm fully vaxxed, and then they are not wearing their mask. As we heard from the Director General of WHO, the vaccinations do not replace our wearing of the mask, or neither do they replace all the other protocols. It's just another, us not drop our guards. I am also a COVID survivor. When I got COVID during the early times of Delta. I was fully vaccinated. And if anybody knows me, they know I'm a COVID protocol. And so to be honest, people really, COVID police, sorry, people really laughed at me when they heard I had COVID, because I wasn't very sick, so you could laugh at me. And that's the difference. So you can still get COVID when you are vaccinated. You have gone by all the other protocols, but thankfully you get either a milder form or you do not even have symptoms at all. And so let us be very careful during this festive season. We make the mistake of thinking because people are family members or friends, they cannot infect us. And so that is when we let our guard down. Please, if it means canceling 1 or 2 parties this Christmas season to survive to see another Christmas, please do.
So let me ask a question, Dr. Gogo. Where can one go to get vaccinated now? Because initially there were lots of flyers and information going around about vaccination points, where to go, what times to go. Where can one go now if you want to get vaccinated?
Even they are going into churches, they are going to municipal health service, and they would organize and come and vaccinate. So it doesn't have to be stressful. You don't have to lose time. It can be church. This church, Trinity United Church, they have come here twice. Or everybody. And so, and please, some are saying they want the single shot vaccine. It doesn't matter whichever vaccine you get into your arm. Now all the vaccines we have in this country are safe, and any one you get into your arm is good to protect you.
And what about the booster shots also? There are also people asking for booster shots. What is the difference between the vaccine, what's the difference with the booster?
So Ghana currently, the vaccines we are using are those that you need the double shots to be fully vaccinated, and then we did the Johnson & Johnson, which was just that's why I'm saying don't say you want a single shot vaccine before you get vaccinated. We are not operating any boosters currently in this country.
Okay.
So once you get your 2 shots for the double one or your 1 shot for this country, you are fully vaccinated.
Okay. All right. So I'll come back to Mrs. Ofori. You said it's important for us to keep in touch. It's important for us to exercise, to live healthy, to stay in touch. And I think the lockdown, during the lockdown period, the depression sets in for a lot of people because we weren't able to be sociable. Now we are over sociable. And so we are, and that's where if I remember the graph that we saw, we seem to be heading towards the odd one. Now being in a mask makes you the odd one out. So how do you not see to become the odd one out and be the stick and the...
Important that, first of all, we consider each other as, we can encourage ourselves that, you know what, I'm trying to protect myself. I'm also trying to protect you. So can you also, in your own way, make an effort? I know we are all tired. We've said that. It can be, let's not lose the interest. Let's not lose our guard down. Let's continue. Let's encourage each other. Don't mind other people not doing it and then you being the only odd one out. It doesn't really matter. The end goal is that you are trying to achieve something. So let's keep on doing that.
Okay. And some Christians have the same belief. God will heal all of us. It's God is a healer.
Yeah.
And so it's a virus, it's a disease. God is a healer. The Spirit will protect us. And so they're not getting vaccinated. The Spirit will protect us. They're not wearing their mask. The Spirit is our healer. The Spirit is our this. The God the blood of Jesus protects. The blood of Jesus covers this house. The blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. What do you say to that? We are all Christians on the stage. Everybody's answering this question.
Okay. So healing from above. We are to explore, to study, endlessly, because God will protect us on the roads. If we have to say bye-bye to COVID, so we can take all these things off to protect ourselves. And we want him to come down from heaven and come and do it.
Faith without works.
Yes, so the works is putting on the mask. The works is, and then trusting that he.
Martha.
Yeah, sure, I agree with her. The African person has been known to be notoriously religious. He's our all, and he's our hope and everything. But we also have to do.
I went for a program, a church out, and as soon as I was about entering the church room, then somebody just tapped me.
And you left.
So, no, none of them were fine. I left my kids and my family. COVID is real. And when you get it, you are on your own. In my house, my kids were indoor in their bedrooms. I was lying in a couch, helpless. So COVID is real. So please, if it will mean staying at home this festive occasion, please do and be wise. And I'll please plead and ask that we use this period to also pray for families with special needs, because they are going through a lot at this time. The kids are not supposed to go out. They don't know mask or unmask. They don't know these rules. And parents are battling with their kids inside because, no, you can't take them out. And they are frustrated in the house. Families with special needs children, look out for them and visit them and give them a pat at the back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I understand one of our viewers by the name, is it Baba? Buba, says masks don't work. And he got a reply from another viewer, Dr. Ifo Abrahams, and he says that, okay, let me try and read it. Dr. Ifo Abraham says, Buba, masks work. No one measures 100% protective, but done together, all these protocols do help ensure that we are safe and that we keep one another safe as well. And that's why the Director General of WHO stressed, do it all, do it well, and do it consistently. Thank you very much, Dr. Ifoiba. Kits, where can we get these? Dr. Gogodako.
With the diasporas, don't know of any that's distributed. And believe you me, even the process of doing it, if you don't do it well, you will get false negative. You need to protect others. And that is why, for me, it is very important that we get tested so that we can know our status. Because once you know you are positive, you're really distributing or selling in Ghana. But there are quite a number in country now.
So are you suggesting that once in a while, just have a COVID test done, just to find out your status? The same way you do malaria tests. Once in a while, when you start feeling headaches and aches and pains, you go ahead and get the malaria test done. Once you start feeling the aches and pains and the fever, just do a COVID test. Once in a while.
I'm happy you mentioned malaria. As we said, common things are common. Malaria is still with us. So the first thing you test is malaria. If it is negative,
do COVID.
There's cold and all sorts of symptoms as on our guard. Let's not let our guard down.
We have a comment by Mercy Kwachi, watching from Dodowa. Okay. Question by Cool. I like the name. What do we do to prevent excessive boredom?
So excessive boredom.
Yeah. So you say we should stay home.
Sure.
If you don't have anything to do outside, we should stay home. So how can they kill boredom?
So for many people, there's music. Music is very soothing. Now there's Netflix or movies. You can stay around, watch movies just to while away the time.
Okay.
Fortunately for us also, now there's the virtual social contact.
Yeah.
So even if you cannot go visit a friend and you are so bored, you can always do a video chat, FaceTime, a Zoom group chat, and all of that. It can also help to cope with the boredom. And also, it's also a great time to pick up an activity or to learn something new.
A hobby.
Or to, get a new hobby, just to get something exciting going for you. So I'm sure there are various options that we can get on, and then we can kill the boredom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excessive boredom. Anything else? Any other questions or comments for us? If there are any more comments or questions coming, you can please send it to us on our social media handles on either Facebook or YouTube, or on our WhatsApp platform at 050-157-9996. That is 050-157-9996. So, Dr. Gogo, initially you were giving me a lecture, which I wanted you to cut it short. Have you exhausted your lecture? I can see you're still holding your paper and you're still reading.
My soul is at peace. Okay, so one thing I would want to add.
Yes, please.
I knew, when I get COVID, it will be mild. COVID will treat us. Vaccines or no vaccines. And so we need to be very careful and also protect the vulnerable amongst us. When we wear the mask, we protect the next person more than we protect ourselves. And so let us not take it for granted that because I'm vaccinated, when I get COVID, it will be mild.
I have a question for you from Kwame.
Okay.
He says, do viruses die?
Yes, so they need us.
You, the human being?
Yes, to replicate. And that is why when they come out, after some time, they will die if they don't need you to replicate themselves. And they, when our immune system overcomes them, then we destroy them. So when they get into us, they need us to replicate. And then when our immune system overcomes them, then we destroy them.
So when Rosemont became well, the virus died?
Yes.
So they were alive in her at day 1. By day 10, when she became negative, the virus was dead.
Yes, and I would want to come in that by day 10, Rosemont could have still tested positive.
Okay.
But at that point, it is known that even though she's still positive, she's not transmitting the virus. So she's not infectious to other people.
Okay.
So right now, we don't even advocate that go and test to become negative. You just have to isolate for the 10 days.
Okay.
Yes. And when you have come into contact with a positive person, you also have to quarantine. So you keep away because you don't know whether you become positive or negative at some point, and you don't know, you don't want to go out and give it to someone else. So you need to quarantine, and then you need to test.
Okay.
Yes.
So they do die.
Yes.
And that's why you said, when I move, you move. When you move, the virus moves.
Yes, when you move, it needs you to move with it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So when you stop, it stops.
Yes.
And then it dies.
Yes. So let's stop the moving. So if it means putting off some parties
this party they have meant it this Christmas.
Yes.
Hey.
Because I want to have bigger parties next Christmas. So let's endure. It's believed that if we are able to mask up correctly, properly, consistently,
all of us,
for 6 continuous months, COVID will be dead.
Globally?
Yes. For 6 months.
If every human being in the world mask up properly, mask, nose, glove, everything, for 6 months, we'll kill COVID. We'll kill COVID. The viruses will die.
Yeah.
Kwame, the virus will die. If you mask up for 6 months consistently, the virus will die. Mr. Keslenate is saying, good COVID discussion, bravo to the panelists. So we can kill the viruses, people, if God be in our house, all of us in this country, consistently, till June 2022, 30th June 2022, we'll kill the virus.
And they have come already because they are still circulating.
Delta is still in the system.
But yes, all of them are still in the system, but not as much as the Delta and Omicron because they are spreading
faster.
Commonly used surfaces. Let's not forget.
So, Dr. Gogodako, Mrs. Ofori, Mrs. Ajimai Champon, we have 3 minutes. Your concluding words to us. Please, don't say we should. We won't go. If you have 5 parties, we're going to 3. So apart from that, what else do you want to tell us before we go for Christmas?
I would say that this Christmas, let us focus on saving lives. As we celebrate the birth of Christ, let's focus on saving lives. Where it depends on you, make sure you are not a risk to the next person. Meaning, you need to always make sure you are properly masked up. And if you are within the age of vaccination, get fully vaccinated.
Thank you.
And let us keep praying. Because yes, as Christians, we know it's God who will help us and redeem us. And so let's share the love of Christ this Christmas. Let's share his word. Let's make sure we win more souls for Christ during this festive season. And remember, he is the reason for the season. Let's do it all, do it well, and do it consistently.
Amen.
Yes.
Martha.
I believe the holiday period is a good time to make good memories, spend quality time with your family and your friends. So in doing all that, let's plan to do it safely. Yeah.
Rosemond?
And I'm also asking that when we have to meet with family members, we should be cautious that because we might think they are family members, we can be close to them, but they can infect whatever. People have died. People are still dying. And we can also die. So we must know that as Christians, we must lead lives that are pleasing in the sight of God. And we must win souls.
There's a question from Cool. Cool says, swimming pool safe.
Oh, so if the virus is afraid of chlorine, that's what makes the swimming pool safe. Because the but then whilst in at the pool, you need to be cautious. Because if it is crowded, know that in the pool, most of the time, your head is above the water and not in the water. So if rain is crowded, please.
So Cool. What she's indirectly saying is that your body can be in the pool, but your face will be masked up whilst you're in the pool, indirectly. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what she's saying to you. Be in the pool, but mask up in the pool.
No, avoid crowded pool.
Pool. Be in the pool. That's why you're masking the pool. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us. On behalf of my panel, I want to wish all of you a very, very, very Merry Christmas. The reason for the season is Christ. Share your love this Christmas, but please be safe during the Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family. Be safe. Stay safe. We want to see all of you in 2022 during the Let's Talk About.